Hey there, Bat fans. This is NYC Cape Crusader back with another video. Unfortunately, this isn't a video that I really wanted to make. I just saw on Facebook earlier today that a great contributor to the cosplay community has decided to shut down her shop and reduce her business down to a bespoke one-on-one clientele basis. And she, in her Facebook post, mentioned multiple reasons for this. One having to be verbal abuse from customers dissatisfied with the time frame, people accusing her of being scammers, and just overall a negative experience dealing with we of the cosplay community. And first of all, I'd like to extend my personal apologies to the proprietor and fabricator of Pleather Wings, the owner of onpleatherwings.com, for her bad experience with dealing with cosplayers. It's a shame that this happens. But on that note, I'd like to say I am truly sorry that you've had such a negative experience dealing with people and customers in your clientele to the point where you feel like you have to shut down your business. That breaks my heart because you are an amazing manufacturer. You did an amazing job on my cape, and you were with me every step of the way, and nothing but nice and friendly. And it's a shame to see you feel like you have to close down, but I understand. So, sorry for the shake. To the cosplayers out there, I've seen this a lot in the forums and on cosplay pages and groups and this kind of thing. People accusing manufacturers and prop makers and costume makers of being scammers, stealing people's money, not getting back to them in a timely manner, all manner of negative reviews. And there's always this back and forth between different cosplayers saying whether the person's legitimate, whether the person is not. He never delivered. It's taking too long. I haven't heard from him. He's a scammer. This kind of thing. And sometimes, yes, they are legitimate claims. I've seen a few people that have, when they do this, they do it the right way and they bring proof to say, hey, watch out for this guy. He's just gonna take your money. But for the most part, we live in an instant society. We have Amazon Prime. We have Netflix. We don't have to wait for anything anymore. So when we're dealing with these prop makers, these fabricators of these amazing, beautiful pieces that we spend so much money on and look brilliant in just for our pictures at conventions and Halloween, it's a shame because we forget that this isn't a factory. This isn't coming off a conveyor belt, an assembly line. There's usually one to two people, maybe, somewhere in the world sitting at a desk like I'm sitting at a desk now, like you sit at a desk every day, toiling over 30 or 40 orders of the same Batman cowl, the same cape, the same Superman emblem, the same armor, the same whatever it is you ordered. But because we are so engulfed in our own cosplay and our own, and this doesn't apply to everybody, I'm not saying that it applies to everybody, we forget that they're human beings too. We forget that there's a real human being taking the time to make this physically for us by hand most of the time. And we get impatient and we get paranoid and because we do spend a lot of money on this. But that's no reason why we should always remember that there's another person on the other end of the screen. It's not a factory. It's not a store. You can't just yell and accuse without proof because there's this another person at the end of that who's getting those comments, those hateful, hurtful comments, those things that you're saying about their product and most of the time them. Without sometimes by jumping the gun, by not confronting them first, by doing all these things, and it ruins their business. It hurts their income. And yes, there are some times where there's been cases where the fabricator or manufacturer or the producer doesn't accurately communicate what's going on in their life. Whether it be personal, whether it be just a back order of orders, whatever the case may be, they don't communicate. And yes, that falls partially on the fault of the manufacturer, the person producing it. But that's no reason why you should completely or utterly try to destroy them. If that happens to you, if a fabricator is behind on their order and you haven't gotten it in a timely manner, try to deal with it with them as best as you can first. Don't immediately jump onto the forums and on Facebook and start blowing up their spot. You don't know what's going on. I've dealt with fabricators that have told me they've lost relatives, that they've had people being sick, that they're 40 orders behind, all this kind of thing. And they come to me and they tell me, hey, I appreciate your business. I thank you for coming to me, but I just gotta let you know I'm only one person and I'm a little behind. So if you don't mind waiting, I'm gonna get to you as soon as I can. And if you're smart, if you're a smart customer, you've ordered in enough time to allow for that. Like, one thing as cosplayers we should always do is leave room for error. If you're gonna order parts for a costume, for a convention, or for Halloween, the worst, absolutely worst thing you can do is order within a month or a couple weeks of the event. It's just not good. It's not fair to them. You're probably not going to get your piece in time, and then it's not fair that you get mad at them because you didn't get your piece in time when you waited till the last minute. But on the other end of the spectrum, it's up to the producer to make sure that they communicate with you on what's going on in their lives. But the thing is, we have to remember that these people that make these beautiful pieces of art that we wear, these things that we spend so much money on, that we wear so proudly and declare ourselves Batman and Wonder Women and Superman, there's a real person working very hard to make that movie accurate, to make that comic book accurate, to make it look as good as it does for you. And we can't forget that because they're part of our community too. They're nerds just like us. They get up in the morning just like us. They put on their Batman t-shirts just like us. And it's sad when it gets to the point where someone's been harassed and hurt to the point where they feel like they can't do it anymore. And that's not what cosplay is about. That's not what this culture, this welcoming community should be about. We're not that kind of people. And I think we know that. Nerds, no, we don't, geeks, nerds, we don't do this to other people. We don't hurt. We don't exclude. We don't say negative things. We don't do that kind of thing because we know what it's like to be in that situation. So when it comes to dealing with people, no matter what asset, whether it be customer, product, whether it be just a difference of opinion on a forum or a Facebook page, the key thing is respect. And I just want to reiterate that because I see it all the time at cons. People talk things about different characters and all this kind of thing, but we always have to respect each other. Because without each other, there is no community. We don't have the fun we do. There's no one there to talk to. There's no one there to compare notes with. There's no one there to learn from and debate and have fun and enjoy our characters with. So, like I said, in the end, I'm sorry that she feels like she has to leave the cosplay community. And I'm sorry from the cosplay community to her that we made her feel like she has to leave. And I hope that we all can learn something from this and try to be better about how we treat each other in our community. It's not all competition. It's not just business. We're geeks and nerds together. And we gotta remember that. Cosplayers, manufacturers, costumers, whatever you want to say. So, sorry for the long video. I got more videos coming up. I have some editing to do. But I just felt like that needed to be said because it hurt to see someone so wonderful feel like they had to leave. They contributed a lot to the cosplay community, and it's a shame. It really is. So I wish I had something more positive to end on, but not this time. This is NYC Cape Crusader. I'll see you next time.